Hey everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you're enjoying whatever you're reading. Today's book, and the book I'm going to review now is called Meet the Neighbors, Animal Minds and a Life in a More Than Human World by Brandon Keim. It was an ebook, so that's why I'm showing it to you on this device. I will read you the synopsis on Goodreads. I read this book as part of a one read program that my library was doing, and part of a challenge as well. I don't know why. I mean, I'm waiting for Goodreads. Sorry. I mean, this is part of I guess doing it by the seat of your pants and not editing it. So I'll read you the description I have on Goodreads. What does the science of animal intelligence mean for how we understand and live with the wild creatures around us? Honeybees deliberate democratically. Rats reflect on the past. Snakes have friends. In recent decades, our understanding of animal cognition has exploded, making it indisputably clear that the cities and landscapes around us are filled with thinking, feeling individuals besides ourselves. But the way we relate to wild animals has yet to catch up. In Meet the Neighbors, acclaimed science journalist Brandon Keim asks, what would it mean to take the minds of other animals seriously? In this wide-ranging, wonder-filled exploration of animals' inner lives, Keim takes us into courtrooms and wildlife hospitals, under backyard decks, and into deserts to meet the wild creatures who populate our communities, and the philosophers, rogue pest controllers, ecologists, wildlife doctors, and others who are reimagining our relationships to them. If bats trade favors and groups of swans vote to take off by honking, should we then see them as fellow persons, even members of society? When we come to understand the depths of our pleasures and pains, the richness of their family lives and their histories, what do we owe so-called pests and predators, or animals who are sick and injured? Can thinking of non-humans as their neighbors help chart a course to a kinder, gentler planet? As Keim suggests, the answers to these questions are central to how we understand not only the rest of the living world, but ourselves. A beguiling invitation to discover an expanded community and kinship beyond our own species. Meet the Neighbors opens our eyes to the world of vibrant intelligence just outside our doors. I gave this 2 stars. Now, the reason I gave it 2 stars, I really did like one reviewer on Goodreads put it succinctly. The first couple of chapters this is one I really liked, dealt with human intelligence and communication, and they were the best parts of the book. It was true. However, they were kind of scattershot and muddled with various examples of rats, bees, etc., surprising us with their advanced thinking, but these parts were kind of a stream of anecdotes. The rest of the book was about animal rights and how we need to coexist with animals, but it got very repetitive, and some of the arguments seemed impractical and unconvincing. And then one reviewer gave it a DNF, gave it 2 stars. Interesting thesis, lots of possibilities. This dragged more than it needed to, better editing. And like a lot of people have said it too. And as one reviewer says, it felt like it was going to be educational and I was going to learn some things about animals, but it ended up being more philosophical than I would have necessarily liked. And the argument for rights, and I agree. I mean, animals should have rights, but it did feel very... it also felt like, and a number of them say, the first couple of chapters were very fascinating and very interesting. It's a very common argument. It got an overall rating with over 1,000 ratings of 3.67. I would say most of the ratings were probably, mostly threes. It was an okay book. I mean, it was decent. I felt like some people said the first few chapters were really good. It really supported his argument. But then it just kind of got into redundancy, and I felt a bit of a slog. So that was... Oh, can you move? This is a problem with ebooks and the way I'm doing it. Meet the Neighbors by Brandon Keim. If you're interested, I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad book. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it did not, for me, match up to what I had thought it was going to be. There were some interesting things about it that I really liked. I liked the stuff where he talked about salmon and their relationship with bears. I felt the first part of that chapter was really fascinating, but then it got kind of repetitive and kind of got philosophical, and I kind of just yeah. It's a very, yeah, I have some issues with it, and I realize we should treat animals with a little more kindness than we do, but it's partly our fault. We sometimes attract certain animals. So I'm not saying, I think what I'm trying to say is he does have a very specific point and I understand what he's getting at, but it kind of felt heavy-handed at times, and it kind of felt very, very repetitive, and that's the reason why I gave it a 2. Not to say those who are in that is a bad book, but I'm just saying that, you know, you gotta kindly just move it along, please. It's not hard to what's the word? To make sure that you have you try to appeal to other people rather than people who probably hold your point of view. Anyways, that was it, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.